If I could have one wish, I'd want the trees to feel pain. I don't need to hear them scream. Just knowing they're hurting, that's enough.
Okay, I think I forgot my stove on. I need to go home to...
Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great because today I'm gonna give you 3 different type of workflows and some gift as a upscaler. But before we go into all of these things, I would like to say thank you for everybody who joined my Discord and who joined my YouTube channel as a subscriber, because oh my god, like anytime I tell you guys this, I get even more surprise visits and surprise subscribers and a lot of more people joining the Discord. So I'm guessing there is an absolute need for something like this where someone actually explains what is happening in the workflow and also uses the workflow themselves and also wants to use it for something more than just, oh, hey, here's what I'm doing. Yay, right? Without any advice. Or if you want advice, you can go on a one-on-one call with them, because that's always the best option, right? When you have to pay a lot of money to have a one-on-one call from someone, or you have to pay extra money for someone to even answer a DM. You like those videos too, right? Those are some great creators. By the way, I looked into some of these creators and honestly, a lot of them have a lot of connections with big API models that are just selling you a subscription service, which is going to cost you so much money that eventually after like 1 or 2 years, you would have been able to pay for, I don't know, 5, 50, 90s if you keep using their services. So maybe just think about what you're doing and maybe just save some money. Maybe just use the computer that you have right now. Maybe seek out the lowest RAM needing workflows as much as you can, because there are some out there. Creators in the generative AI industry are not just going for the high VRAM, especially nowadays. People just can't really afford this thing. So please be considerate of what you want to spend your money on, and maybe, just maybe, spend some thinking on it, spend some learning, and eventually you might actually end up with a resolution that's going to be financially better for you. So aside from all of these things, let's go into the workflow. I'm going to show you an absolute workflow frenzy for 3 different type of sizes. It's going to be either vertical, square, or the normal horizontal full HD. I'm going to talk about some other stuff like upscaling and which method to use. And there is going to be a big workflow for all these 3 for people who are genuinely insane like I am and have large enough VRAM to use them. But the normal workflows are for people who aren't necessarily as lucky as I am and or insane as I am, because there's like the 2 of them kind of goes hand in hand, right? And one of each is doing normal stuff, right? And normal sizes and normal computers with normal VRAMs. And I guess let's start with the normal workflow. The normal one is just your regular full HD workflow. Here's where you set up your time, like how long do you want the video to be. Here's where you would add your own custom audio. Here is where you can turn off the second sampler if you just want to test some stuff with the first sampler. And I also have the prompt descriptor. I'm gonna upload it on my Discord. If you are part of the Discord, you can download the JSON file for that thing. And if you're not part of the Discord, why aren't you? Because this is just a gift for the Discord people. So if you want to join and if you want that, like I'm telling you, it's absolutely crazy helpful. Obviously, the normal workflow includes your audio switch. Here down, like I literally explained, like, so LTX is 0, your own custom is 1. And you can see that they are connecting to 1 and 0, and it's set on 0. So right now we're generating audio with LTX2, and just put it on 1 if you want to generate with your own custom audio that you are choosing here. This is where you choose your image. If you wanna choose like a frame from like a video, just do the same thing that I did before. You add a video load model, and then you just plug that into exactly this node. Nowhere else. Do not put it anywhere else. Use it here. There is some size settings on the HD version. There's really nothing to tell. Like everything else is the same because the HD version is going to work for you absolutely without a problem. However, when I was making this workflow for the vertical and for the square shaped, I noticed something. If I actually want to go up to full HD, I can't, because apparently the model is not trained for that. the model is topping out around 1152 in height, which is a problem. So how do you fix that? Well, you can't really fix it with the normal upscaler because the normal upscaler is set to this model. So you would just need to use a tiny upscaler. And for someone who doesn't necessarily have like a lot of VRAM, I would recommend to just load this upscaler separately. I have a JSON file for this one on the Discord as well. You can download it from there. It's the easiest upscaler ever. You probably have everything for this. Like, I'm not even joking. You can probably just load all of these things up. There is no crazy settings for this. I added like a purge VRAM thing, but you don't need that. Like, especially if you just separately load this thing up, like this is just useless. So just load this thing up, put your video in, and this is going to be your friend now, because this is going to upscale to like 4K or something. This is going to be insane. So that's what you do if you don't have enough VRAM, or if you just don't really have too much time to deal with the other upscaler, because the other upscaler is crazy. Like, I want to show you on an image. So this is the image that you put in. If you, like, you can zoom in, like you can see that you just use it for one image and what kind of a quality difference is there if you just look at one image. If you put in a whole video, you can do some tricks for the video that will improve the video quality a lot. Because I did that on here, on the horizontal, on the vertical one, and look at that. That's a bear. That's like, it does show sometimes that it's AI, but that's crazy. And the only reason it shows those artifacting, because the original video, when you see it, it does have the artifacting itself. So if this video would be just a little bit blurry, but if it wouldn't have the artifacting, like, see that? If it wouldn't have that, that bear would look like an actual bear without any CGI elements and any crazy artifacting. So that's the difference. Like, that's like an insane. I'm gonna put them next to each other. And obviously, when it starts moving crazy, it will, you know, fall apart. But I mean, what AI doesn't fall apart there? This is just on your computer, and you can probably do this with like a relatively smaller sized RAM if you put this workflow separately. Now, if someone wants to know how the whole workflow works, this is a little bit different from the small ones. If you were here only to know about the small ones, I think this is the point of the video where you're kind of done. Like, you can go and enjoy your workflow. You can download it from the Discord or maybe even see with AI. If you just want the workflow, on the Discord, you can find the JSON files, and you can also find the prompt helper, and you can also find the upscalers. So if you want to use those things, come to the Discord and download them. And let's go with the big workflows for the crazy people like I am. So this thing works on a 5090 for sure. And I'm saying works on a 5090 for sure is because there's one part that doesn't. If you want to use this upscaler, the SeedVR upscaler with a full HD video, that's not gonna work. Not even if you turn on the block swap. Although I don't have the block swap on, so maybe it will work. We'll see. Everything here is exactly the same, and this is where things start being different. So what I did is that if you have enough VRAM to just run the small version of this, this is not upscaling here, it's just running like a sharpening and also downscaling. So what happens in all three, vertical, square, and full HD, is that this part of the workflow loads up a more stable version and more sharp version of the generated first video. The generated first video, a lot of times, is going to be an issue, especially in the vertical and the square, because the vertical and the square can't handle a large size video. With full HD, you don't necessarily need this, but it's good to have. So I'm just going to leave it here. You can use it if you want, but you don't need it. Because in full HD, for the first sampler, you generate this size. See? It's going to be this size, which is going to be perfectly fine on the second upscaler sampler. It's not going to have any discolorization or anything because it's landscape version. So it doesn't have any problems. So here you don't need a downscaler, and it's just going to kind of run through the whole thing. It will show you the size. I have this here. I just left this here because, I mean, why not? But if you don't want it, you don't need it. But it kind of shows you the size if you want. That's kind of like a cool detail. Then it runs in here. This is going to run it through and gonna do like a bit of sharpening on it. And then goes into the second sampler and it's gonna be coming out to the upscalers if you want to upscale it. Down here, if you don't want to run through here, if you don't want to use the sharpening of the upscaler, or for some reason it doesn't work for you, same deal as any of the other workflows. This part of the workflow, video latent, goes into this video latent, and then you skip this whole thing. Everything is skipped here. This is not gonna work anymore. But if you don't want to skip it, just put it back. It's pretty neat. It gives a more sharp, more stable version for the second sampler. In my opinion, it actually makes a little bit better result, in my opinion. But you can tell yourself if you like it or not. But in this one and the square, you just need it. There's just no other way. Like this part you absolutely need, because this part is going to resize a well-generated larger size video into the perfect size that's going to be the maximum limit of this model here. And you're not going to have any discolorization here, and you're not going to have any discolorization in the square. And also, when you do the square, it's kind of cool because you can do 1152 by 1152. So in theory, it's like a little bit bigger than the vertical. I guess the vertical is the smaller size out of all of these. So if someone from the smaller workflows are still here, if you're actually generating this, you just have this. This is going to be the fastest workflow out of all of them. Because you don't have the resizer, you don't have any upscaler, you don't have anything here. Everything, all sizes are set perfectly, correctly to generate this one, and then from here to generate this one without any discolorization. So this is the fastest workflow because this works with the less amount of detail with the least amount of time. But it's still good. So I'm just saying, if someone wants super fast, super anything that's like done the first out of all of these, this is the workflow you want to work with. Not the square, not the landscape, this one. And then you can still drop this into the upscaler separately, like just drop it in here. And same deal, if you want to skip it for some reason, you can just grab this and just connect it here. And I hope these tiny helps on the top of the groups are going to help a little bit when you're looking at them, because it definitely helped me, because I was like, what is this? Wait, what am I doing? Wait, where is this going? And then I just started making a guide for myself. And then I was like, hey, I think other people are going to use this as well. So just so I can maybe give you guys a good hint if you don't want to come to the Discord or whatever, or if you don't think that you need the prompt helper, the way the prompt works is that you describe the shot with like a really, really short sentence first. Don't even use more than like 12 words. And then you describe the first subject, what they look like, where are they, what are they doing, and how are they speaking. And then you say she says or he says or it says or whatever, and then you say what they say, basically. Like you type down here what they say. It's actually really helpful to type this out even if you are using your own audio, because the model actually understands it a little bit better, so might as well just add what they're supposed to say, and it's going to actually generate what they're supposed to say. And then if you actually have a second subject, then you put a little bit of description. You don't need much description about the second subject. Just put like a little bit of description of the second subject, and then put it what they say here. The model might forget to describe the second subject, so you just put like a sentence here. Whatever you say, just make sure that you say something about the second subject. And then the last thing that you have to say is what the background is. But keep away from words that can actually interfere with these two, because then nothing's gonna work. That's why I'm trying to tell you that The descriptor is actually pretty good at doing this because it avoids certain words, because there is an instruction in it that will make that possible. And you don't even need like a bigger, what is this, prompt than this. Like this is all that you need, and it will always generate. Like I ran the same prompt on all of these. I ran it on vertical, I ran it on square, I ran it on landscape, and without any issue or without any problem, all of them generated the perfect lip sync, and all of them generated what they said and what they're supposed to say, and they generated it accurately, and they like it was perfect. This explanation, the way this prompt works, now I understand how to describe a prompt. So I think, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I could do it now, but I am very close to actually being able to describe a prompt properly now and make sure that it actually works. So as I said, first, environment with a sentence. Second, first subject who's speaking, and then what they say. And then the second subject and what they say. And then the background in a nutshell. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you could actually use something from this guide. And if you're a subscriber or you're in the Discord, I hope to see you next time. And yeah, see you. Bye.